What's happening, guys? Welcome to the breakdown of the Amazing Spider-Man teaser trailer, which hit the web just recently. Now I'm going to do a breakdown of the official trailer, not the international version, since official one is the longer version. So let's start right now. The opening shot is Spidey swinging from the above, basically falling down, and it looks like a video game at some point, but you know, it's actually pretty decent CGI for a movie. Here's Spidey swinging. And the next shot is Peter sitting on a ledge. Something apparently happened, or perhaps he just thinks about the promise to Captain Stacy, which he gave him in the first movie, to stay away from Gwen, to protect her by doing so. Or perhaps it's a scene after something major happened in the movie. Something really sad. Now another shot of Spidey swinging. Mark Webb mentioned that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 will feature more daytime, Spidey during daytime. The first movie had more like night scenes, and this version of Spider-Man, this sequel, will have Spidey during daytime. Here's Spidey catching a police car. That's what happens during the battle. Spidey versus Electro, the first fight. Max Dillon just got his powers and showing his real powers. Spidey, Peter Parker on the cemetery. Now it's kind of interesting scene. Perhaps he just came to visit his uncle's grave, Uncle Ben's grave, and he just remembers the lesson of great power, of great responsibility. Peter looks kind of sad. It might be another scene after something huge happened. I will suggest my theory, what might happen later on in the breakdown. Here's a shot of Rhino. A shot of Rhino, Alexei Stage, basically. We can see that, he has a robotic costume, just like the Ultimate version. And right here in the helmet, it's Alexei's face. There will be his face here. And the helmet closes down like, Iron Man costume style. It seems that the costume might be a prototype from Ascarp. Something Rhino acquired from Ascarp. I will do a more detailed video about this later on, how Rhino might work for Ascarp actually, after his defeat by Spider-Man. Now a really fast shot of Harry Osborn's eye. His face looks already transformed, deformed. Perhaps he already took the serum, the Oz serum, which transformed him into Green Goblin. On the left we can see an earpiece. It might be, some sort of Bluetooth device, and that's what he uses to, connect with Norman Osborn, his father, who gives him, all the missions and tasks. And here we see a shot of Harry from the back. Here's his Goblins Armor, which kinda doesn't really look like Goblins Armor. It looks very futuristic. It's obviously just a piece of armor without a mask. And his hair looks different after the transformation. And yep, this suit is kinda interesting. It's a really interesting version of the Goblin's costume. Maybe some sort of nanosuit, something developed by Ascarp, which enhanced his abilities. Another shot of Spidey and the Ascarp Tower, great shot. Now a shot of Electro in his, he's not in his full costume yet, it's probably a scene after he became Electro. A shot of Electro just throwing cars, shooting lightning bolts at Times Square, just destroying the city. Shot of Spidey. And after the main titles we see another shot of Spidey swinging by. The colors look great. Daytime once again. Now a shot of Peter meeting with Gwen, basically a brief dialogue. He's really excited about his Spidey life. He definitely improved. Spider-Man enjoys being Spider-Man. Spidey lands on a car. This is was filmed in Rochester. It's a chase scene. Spidey chases Rhino, who steals the truck in the beginning of the movie. And there's the Ascarp truck and lots of police cars. And those are thugs who work for Rhino. The door of the truck just opened and they started shooting at the police officers. Another shot of Peter and Gwen. Spidey swings by and dodges bullets, dodges Alexei. The Rhino is shooting at him. He's not transformed into Rhino yet, and the whole scene is in slow-mo. It's really great. Shot of Peter and Gwen. They look happy. Another shot of Spidey swinging by. Now we see probably Osborn's mansion. Peter and Harry meeting for the... not for the first time. The synopsis for the movie revealed that they are actually longtime friends, and apparently they haven't seen each other for quite a long time. So they just met after a couple of years. Peter Parker, Harry Osborn. Now pay attention, if you actually zoom, if you watch the trailer in HD and you zoom these, you know, tabs, some of them actually, there's one which says Venom storage. Now Sony are obviously making lots of spin-offs in future, Spider-Man spin-offs, and here's the first Venom Easter egg. And then there's the one which says Dr. Connor's file, and the one which says Dr. Morbius file. Morbius! Now that's a really nice Easter egg. Not sure if they will introduce Morbius eventually, the vampire, but that's really awesome. Now Harry shows Peter that he's actually aware of the fact that Peter is Spider-Man. He shows him a hologram and pictures, basically, from the you know, first movie, the previous events, and he's Oscar been spying. That's what he tells Peter. Oscar been spying on Peter for quite a long time. They know that he's Spider-Man. And Peter asks why, and Harry replies by saying, "Good question." Shot of Spidey, another shot of chase scene, Rhino just crushing cars in his truck. Peter and Aunt May, basically. Aunt May tells him once again that you will pay for, you know, you have to pay for all these secrets eventually. A shot of Spidey at Times Square, jumping, landing on a car. Now Peter discovers something like you know, a secret headquarters of his father, Richard Parker. It looks like an abandoned train station. You know, a couple of months ago we heard the rumors that there will be some sort of abandoned train station, but we had no idea what it is all about. Now we know that it's the secret headquarters of Richard Parker, Peter's father. Train cab, and Peter discovers lots of different files and a video recording of Richard Parker explaining to Peter that Ascarp is using his researches for bad purposes, for bad reasons, you know, and he wants to stop Ascarp. That's the reason Ascarp eventually killed Peter's parents. Now Peter finds out the truth, the clues about the death of his parents. Shot of Ascarp Tower, which plays a huge role in the Mark Webb's Spider-Man franchise. Now a shot of Man in the Shadows. If you want to know more about this character, he is actually the Gentleman. That's what's his nickname, the Gentleman, Man in the Shadows. You can check out the video where I talk about possible theories about, you know, that Man in the Shadows might actually be the one who killed Peter's parents, and I bring lots of evidence and proof. Now this is a huge shot, major shot. It reveals that Man in the Shadows apparently walks down the corridor at Ascarp, and on the background we can see Doc Ock's tentacles and Vulture's wings. Now it doesn't mean that Doc Ock and Vulture will appear in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It doesn't. It's just a small tease. We thought that Colin Farrell is actually Vulture, Adrian Toomes, but the official website just revealed that Colin Farrell is actually playing Donald Mencken. Wow! Donald Mencken, Norman Osborn's personal assistant. That's quite surprising. For a year we've been thinking that Colin Farrell is Vulture. Apparently not, so somebody else will be Vulture. We won't see Vulture yet. Vulture will appear later on, probably in The Amazing Spider-Man 3 or Amazing Spider-Man 4, and eventually he will join the Sinister Six, along with Doc Ock. In the Ultimate Comics, Doc Ock played a huge role. He worked for Ascarp, and he is the one who developed Goblins Serum, the O Serum, so besides this small tease, we might actually see another small Easter egg to Doc Ock, since I'm pretty sure we will see the character later on in the films. So yeah, Vulture's wings, Doc Ock's tentacles, just a small tease of what's to come in future. Another shot of Peter. watching his father's recordings, where he basically, as I mentioned, he explains that you know, the consequences of the fact that Ascarp is using his resources will be massive, enormous. So you know, Peter needs to stop his, Ascarp. Now we've got some sort of chamber or elevator, probably Ascarp as well, or maybe Ravencroft prison. Some sort of hangars, doors are opening, and they reveal, Harry Osborn enters the hangar, the hall, and here's a tank full of electric eels. That's where Max Dillon will fall down, just like in in the Spectacular Spider-Man, and he will become Electro. Electric eels are obviously genetically modified; they are cross species, so that's what gives Max Dillon his Electro powers. Now, Max Dillon is in the Electro is in the containment cell. Probably he becomes Electro, and as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, you definitely should check it out, where I talk about the fact that Electro is probably, Harry Osborn uses Electro for his own reasons. You should definitely check out the video, it will be in the description box. So Electro is in a containment cell. Probably after he became Electro, Ascarp placed him in the containment cell, and they're going to do some experiments, and eventually they will use Electro for their own reasons, such as killing Spider-Man, or Harry Osborn, Norman Osborn needs Peter's blood sample. That's what they need to finish the Goblin serum, a cure for Norman. So they will try to use all their sources, all their power to obtain Peter's blood sample, no matter how. They will reuse Rhino, they will use Electro, eventually Harry will try to do it himself as Goblin, obtain Peter's blood, or Peter himself, since that's what Norman Osborn needs in this movie. He's dying, he needs a cure. Shot of Harry. Now, and some sort of schematics of the human body, maybe it's Electro. Now, this guy, it looks like it's one of the thugs who works for Rhino, and they are inside the truck. We do know for a fact that the truck contains some sort of serums from Ascarp, which they stole, and here's a bunch of them. Now, a cool shot, it looks like something from the Watchmen movie. If you've seen the Watchmen, you know what I'm talking about. Dr. Manhattan is gathering his powers, and that's actually Electro. Well, we do know for a fact from comics, from Jamie Foxx interviews, that Electro can transform into electricity. He can go through, electric sockets. He can just transfer his body through electric devices. So basically, he can just, vanish and become a pure electricity. On the background, we can see lots of bodies. It might be the fact that, Electro just escaped the containment cell, Ascarp's containment cell, and now he's on the rampage. He just, he just found out how powerful he really is. Shot of Harry Osborn on the glider, near the window, Ascarp's window. On the background we can see Ascarp's employee. This woman right here might be Dr. Ashley Kefka. And yep, Harry is Green Goblin. Here, a shot of Harry asking his father what's going to happen to Peter. And Norman replies, here's a Norman, a first shot of Norman. He replies, not everyone has a happy ending. That's the shot of Norman. We can actually see how bad he looks, how his condition, his health condition, he's obviously dying, he looks horrible, and he needs a cure, he needs Peter's blood sample. The whole Ascarp needs Spider-Man. That's the main plot of the movie. Shot of Spidey. The lenses look just amazing in comparison to set pictures. The footage, Spidey's costume looks even better. Now here we're about to see our Rhino's leg, his robotic costume, part of his costume, which is awesome. No, Spidey is gonna beat Rhino during the first probably 40 minutes into the movie, or 30 minutes. He's just a thug for fun. Spidey will beat him pretty fast. That's the first attempt of Oscar probably to obtain Peter's blood sample, and it fails. A really cool shot in slow motion. Spidey dodging a missile or a rocket, and now he tries to hit Rhino. It looks really amazing. Spidey swinging by. Now, very important shot, basically confirms that, just like, you know, in the comics and in the graphic novel, which about, you know, the gentleman, Peter's parents are going to die in a plane crash. That's what we've been speculating for over a year now, and here's a confirmation. It looks like somebody is trying to kill Richard Parker. There's a fight. The guy looks like a pilot, so I'm pretty sure he works for Man in the Shadows, the gentleman. Once again, don't forget to check out the video about the Man in the Shadows in the description box. Police car, a huge sort of like flying explosion. Gwen tells Peter that, you know, somebody eventually will pop up who's stronger than Spider-Man, and that's probably about Electro. Here's a shot of Electro in his full costume. Looks amazing. And he's about to shoot electric lightning bolt or something. On the background we can see a wall, but that's not just a wall. If you've been following set pictures on all the reports I've been following for a year, this actually takes place at Norman Osborn's mansion. The wall is inside Norman Osborn's mansion. I can confirm that for sure. So Electro is at, you know, at Osborn's mansion in this scene. A really cool shot of Times Square being destroyed by Electro, obviously during the first fight. Shot of Peter in his Spidey costume in his room, his apartment. Shot of Spidey probably on the truck with Rhino. Electro levitates at Times Square just like in the comics. In the animated series, Electro has the ability to levitate once he absorbs enough power, enough electricity. And what's the best place to absorb electricity than Times Square, right? With all the billboards. A shot of Peter and Gwen standing on the top of this skyscraper, and Peter is without his mask. Andrew Garfield obviously needs some screen time. Really cool shot, very important shot of Spidey. He's about to kick Harry Osborn, who is now Green Goblin. And the location is Clock Tower. We will talk more about it later on during the breakdown. Harry looks menacing, and here Spidey punches him. Now, plane crash scene. Plane falls down. Peter's parents dead. Shot of Electro. Another shot of Times Square. Electro shooting bolts, like people are in panic running around. Electro just destroys the whole city. Ravencroft security. Somebody just escaped Ravencroft. Spidey swinging by. A shot of Harry Osborn transforming into Green Goblin. He just used the serum. All serum. Why would he do it? Once again, check out my video. We will talk more about it later on, but so far we can see that Harry uses the serum and he's about to transform. Probably this serum is unfinished, or maybe it's finished, who knows. But Harry becomes Green Goblin before Norman Osborn. Shot of Peter. Police cars, the chase scene. Electro. It looks like he's wearing glasses. So yeah, it might be the moments after he just discovered his powers, since he does wear glasses as Max Dillon before the transformation. Tank full of electric eels just exploded. Max Dillon just fell down, fell into the into the chamber, into the tank full of electric eels, and he will become Electro. Peter and Gwen kissing, and it looks like J.J. Abrams edited this shot. Shot of Harry. Spidey. Times Square battle. Times Square fight scene. Huge explosion at Times Square. Electro. Thugs who work for Rhino. Now Gwen Stacy is at the clock tower. Gwen Stacy is at the clock tower when Spidey is fighting Harry Osborn. Talking about Clock Tower, we do know that the movie will open. Mark Webb revealed it himself. The opening scene for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be a watch. And apparently the final battle is the Clock Tower. It takes place at Clock Tower. So we can assume that the time plays major part in the movie, in this storyline. The time is everything, you know. Spidey lands on a mechanism at Clock Tower. And you know, since we just saw Gwen at Clock Tower, now we see Spidey landing on a mechanism and he shoots webs. Something we probably should, you know, at least assume that this is the scene where Gwen Stacy dies. In the original story, Spidey, basically there was a same shot. Green Goblin threw Gwen off the bridge and Spidey caught her with the webs and her neck snapped due to the instant stop. And it looks like, I'm not sure, it looks like it's the death scene of Gwen Stacy. Spidey shoots webs, he catches her and her neck snaps. That's really a funny shot because, you know, it's actually Shailene Woodley, Mary Jane Watson. Her scenes were cut from the movie, according to Mark Webb, and she won't appear as Mary Jane Watson, yet they still included this scene with Shailene Woodley. We don't see her face, just her back. Electro in the containment cell. Really cool shot. Spidey is about to dodge lightning bolt. Something, yeah, well, it's obviously Electro shooting at him. It's a fight at power plant, which is the second fight between Spidey and Electro. Really cool shots, cool scene. Spidey fighting Electro at power plant. Whoa, the time slows down, everything looks spectacular. The CGI and everything. Electro is in full costume, obviously. We're not sure if Spidey will beat Electro, you know, Electro definitely won't die. You can't kill something, you know, like Jamie Foxx said, you can't kill something that is made out of electricity. He might just vanish, disappear, and then he will be back once the Sinister Six is about to, you know, once there will be a Sinister Six in a movie. And that's the ending shot. So yeah guys, here's a breakdown. We will definitely talk more about some of the major scenes in my future videos. So far it's a breakdown of the trailer, of the highlights and just the scenes. So stay tuned for more videos about certain theories and certain scenes and more deeper analysis. Thanks for watching guys, and I'm out for now.